Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support and any kind of updates and the such. Usually, I will post on Twitter X. Later today, we're going to have also Midnight Suns episode. Again, just a reminder. Monday through Saturday, I will be publishing one episode of Midnight Suns until again I wrap up the game there, and then probably I will introduce another game in after I finish the Midnight Suns. Um, yeah, basically that's it. Just also that I have some completed gameplay series in 4K and 1080p also. And yeah, basically in terms of updates for the channel, it's what I got here. Let's go for some news. We got PlayStation Pro digital things happening in terms of rumors and leaks, and we got some opinions regarding this launch of the PlayStation 5 Pro from Digital Foundry guys. They seemingly commented again that the best option for PlayStation is to, or for Sony, is to launch just one model, PlayStation Pro digital one, so without any kind of the disc option there, so the discless option, given that it seems that Sony is not be able to maintain production costs lower. Um, Again, we saw a rise in price, sorry, in Japan, which was still a big price increase. Again, I don't know what's happening with the PlayStation, but it seems since they put the Sony International Entertainment headquarters in the United States, things are not going well for them. I don't know what they're doing there, but it doesn't seem to be on the good side of things in terms of the business they are practicing. And we've been seeing some of this happening throughout the year since they put the headquarters there, from some games and some practices internally, mainly regarding a lot of it, the DEI stuff there. Again, I'm assuming it's most regarding the executive suite, um, trying to ramp up their bonuses there. And I think one of the reasons that they are struggling a little bit regarding price, maintaining price and production costs and ramping up prices there, I think mainly it's not that much of production cost issue. I think it's more that the fact that we got games like Concord, that it's being a huge bust. Again, estimates around $150 million. It's a lot of money for a game to crash and burn in 2 weeks since launch. It's been 8 years in the making, and I pick up this article from that Park Place. This is a comment that again these guys from IGN are completely bonkers, or their brains. I think they have brain rot of some sorts. They really seem to be again, the fact that you want the customer base of the gaming industry, so the players, let's say, the fact that you want them to be in a certain way, that doesn't mean that's the reality there. And these people tend to have I don't know, difficulty in accepting reality. I don't know, maybe they live in a bubble, virtual bubble. I think again these people represent a vocal minority, like a very huge, like a very small minority, that it's plenty of vocal, at least on the internet. They are not vocal with their purse and how they spend their money. But yeah, I think this kind of projects are putting PlayStation and Sony International Entertainment, which basically the studio they have under their umbrella. It's putting a lot of the ecosystem itself in danger, because I don't think companies can afford losing $150 million around that, because then we got all the we not all those $150 million is not only about the production cost or the development cost, is also about marketing costs and all that jazz. And then, given that this is a live service, you need to continue to maintain the servers and continue to provide support for the players in a very long stretch of time to maintain the game active. It's one of the risks that you have to take in account when you do a game. Given that single player, usually the post launch support usually tends not to be ad infinitum, let's say. You can do the patching and all that stuff, and try to fix any issues that the game might launch with. And then afterwards, you can start doing and focus on other games that the development studio needs to do. But yeah, I think these kind of things just hit on the rock bottom of the finances of PlayStation and Sony Entertainment International, or whatever they are called there. But yeah, this girl is completely, I don't know, fried in the brain. Uh, the comments basically is that saying that PlayStation never believed in Firewalk Studios Concord game after it was shut down last 2 weeks ago. I think it was 15 days. Again, this is more than predictable, and people tend to try to point a specific reason for why the game shut down, basically, or reached this point. A lot of it has to a lot of people, sorry, said that they have to do a lot of with the DI stuff there, the he hims, the fact that the character designs revolve around the all the acronym mafia stuff there. Again, it's a factor for sure. But again, I think the main reason here is it's been 8 years in development. Basically, they start developing this game when basically around the time that Overwatch launched. And from what I've been gathering in terms of information, it seems that the game is a solid game in terms of mechanics, but it doesn't bring anything new or anything exciting to the genre itself. And it's a game that it's already in a very competitive and very crowded market. Given that these kind of games are very time consuming for the person that wants to invest its time there. So basically, when you need to, if you want to play Concord, you will basically have to stop playing other games that you're already playing, especially if you're more in the live service kind of a games market. Again, you are competing with time, basically, for your customer base. And also the fact that by the fact that it doesn't bring anything new in terms of game mechanics or trying to be different in any sorts, uh, just by the fact that it's bringing this poorly character design, even without, if you even if you remove all the pronouns and all that messaging that there is imbued in the game itself. Even the character designs by themselves are very horrible. Especially these two, and plus the other ones are very generic. They seem very generic. For me, the color scheme of the characters themselves are completely horrendous. Doesn't Nothing matches with anything. Uh, this seems like puke, color puke, with some purples there. Plus that, again, people want to play with characters that look cool, and this looks like a garbage man from the future, like a fat garbage man from the future here. At first, everybody thought this was a female, but it's a guy supposedly, or at least he identifies as a guy. I don't know, because it's so homogenous. It's again, I don't know what to tell you here. Even the robots identify with the pronouns, but again, it's a huge factor because people get turned off with this kind of shenanigans. But yeah, even the character design, it's very bland. The color schemes don't match anything. What I like most here that got to intrigue me was a little bit the cinematic stuff. There seems very well produced, but then again, doesn't tell any kind of story or tries to tell like any kind of significant story or character exploration of any sort. From what I've been seeing from the cinematics, there seems to give a vibe like a very bland Guardians of Galaxy. Even the ship design's not that good there. uh, but yeah, and the fact also, taking all that in this in account, you got yourself a game that it's on the market, where to access the game itself, the base game, you need to pay $40 at least to play the game by itself, which on the market with every game, usually it's free to play, and then the game's monetization scheme. Then it's where the companies go get the money and recoup the investment they are making on maintaining this game alive. Again, you got all of these factors here that basically contributed for this game to be shut down in 15 days. Plus the fact that, again, when you open a multiplayer game with, at least on Steam, around 700 players, not even that much on an all-time peak, and then on a daily basis, you just get at least 20 to 30% of decrease in player base. When this screenshot was taken, was around 43 players right now at the time of the screen capture. Again, this is impossible to make matchmaking to a certain sense because of servers where they are located. There have been some comments on Reddit and other places that people were waiting at least 8 minutes to get into a game, and after those 8 minutes, I think the server times out and you need to go again and wait for the queue to get another game. Again, it's been a shit show from the beginning, and the fact that, again, people don't want to play this game. But the fact that the game has closed, again, it's a shame because it's a game. I like good games, but this is not the case of being a good game overall. Even though IGN and the such said it was a good game, sevens out of tens all over the place. Again, it doesn't seem to jive in the same way that the customers, because there is no customers here. Estimates were around 25,000 copies sold, around probably 1 to 1.5 million in revenue. um, yeah, it's not good for a project that costs $150 million. It's not sustainable by any means. And the fact that this little, um, I don't know, sometimes the message that they bring is they seem a little bit retarded because again, it's not their money that is getting out of the pocket to sustain this game. But yeah, even though, again, the fact that it wasn't even given at least 6 months to properly sit through a season and adjust as a proper live service game is insane to me. It's pretty clear PlayStation didn't believe in this from the start and failed to support it. Again, I don't know what kind of thought goes through the heads of these persons, uh, because keeping this game alive on live support for 6 months, not having any players here, you're only getting cost added to the $150 million. I don't know where they think if they did if she donated for the game to keep itself online. I don't know, but yeah, this is completely out of reality kind of comments. They, again, these people should know better, but again, they are not journalists, they are activists. They just want things to be the way they want. They don't take reality in account and the financials on the company regarding these kind of things. But yeah, the game closed, was officially announced on first on PlayStation blog. Funny enough, everything that it's been commented officially through PlayStation or through the studio itself, the comments are turned off, so nobody can comment, nobody can reply or interact with the statements that they are making, which is funny enough. Again, I don't know who wants to to interact with this kind of statements. There is nobody to interact. Around 700 people that bought this game from Steam. But yeah, the game will close, at least for now, its doors on 7 September, I think. I've got the thing here. Um, no, September 6th, and they will explore options, including those that will better reach our players. Again, refunds will be issued. If you bought the game, you can refund it. On Steam, it's pretty easy. You just reach out to them to refund the game. They will refund it. On PlayStation, I don't know how you can refund the game, but supposedly it's going to be pretty easy. Um, Again, and they are shutting down everything, and I can only see two options coming from this. Is, I don't know, in about 3 months or so, or PlayStation is going to do a write-off of this project as losses, to try and write off tax kind of a thing there, or they will take around 3 to 6 months and work internally on this game. I don't know, smooth it out, or trying to introduce something extra on the game, and then relaunch as a free-to-play game, because there is no other possibility of relaunching this game except if it is a free-to-play game. And then between these 3 to 6 months, they will have to tinker around with the game and do some monetizing scheme there, with skins and weapons and the such, with season pass or battle pass. I don't know how they call it there. I usually don't play this kind of games, but yeah, this is not good. Again, we will continue to see this. We got Dustborn, got the same thing with Dustborn and a lot of these kind of games. Dustborn is a different situation because they are government funded, so they didn't lose anything there. There was basically a mandate of I think if they didn't comply with the mandate of the where they got the funds from, then they had to return. But I think they complied with everything. They launched the game supposedly with the guidelines to get that funding, so they don't get a loss there because they got the money. So that's what it is. But yeah, continuing with this Chang's claim that PlayStation did not believe in the game. Again, we all know that it's false. Again, they were developing this game for 8 years, and even Sony Interactive Entertainment bought the studio into last year. Jim Ryan at the time was the CEO. They said it was led by a world-class team that is highly experienced and deeply passionate about creating exceptional multiplayer games that foster memorable shared experience. And then he continued, I'm confident the studio's upcoming project will be a robust addition to PlayStation Studio portfolio, and its live service and technology expertise will be instrumental in helping grow PlayStation reach. Because people tend to forget, PlayStation was, and it still is, from my understanding, they a few years back they acquired the Destiny studio. Completely forgot which studio it is. I'm so sorry about that. They bought the studio there because they wanted to, again, getting themselves in live service gaming more. And this acquisition of this studio from Firewalk was part of that strategy, for them to have like a solid library of live service games for all tastes, I will assume, and to have like a robust library to compete with other games that are also live service. But yeah, it's failed spectacularly because it's a failure of $150 million. Uh, Worse than this, we have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which is costing at least $200 million to Warner Brothers. I'm not sure how that is going on. I think they're still maintaining that game in live support, but I'm not sure. But yeah, PlayStation did the best that they did the best for the company itself in terms of financial incentives. There, it might as well cut the losses right now, see if it is something salvageable, or if not, um, write off as a loss, because again, this is not a good game. Even Herman Hulst, which is now the head of PlayStation Studios, he said at the time, we're thrilled to expand upon our collaborative relationship with Fireworks Studio and formally welcome the team to PlayStation Studios. Again, they were very supportive. If they weren't supported, they will not buy the studio outright. Because when you buy a studio, is because you are interested in the IPs they are working on, and getting the rights of that IP. That's a huge investment. It's not something that you go to the coffee shop and buy a Starbucks coffee for $20. Again, this is millions of dollars investments, and business they are doing here is not something that you can just skip a Starbucks coffee like this girl here, this brain rot women here. If she identifies as a woman, I don't think they identify as a fairy. I don't know. But yeah, and then in fact, Tony Su, sorry if I mispronounce here, the studio head at Firewalk Studios made it abundantly clear that Sony had been supporting their vision of the game the entire time. So they were they gave it the okay more than one time. And the fact that this game was highly supportive is the fact that they also tried to launch a limited edition of Sense Control. I think this is the basic version. It's not the Elite. I don't know. This is not the Elite. And it launched supposedly for $90 again. It might be a collector's edition in 20 years time, so if you bought it, don't open it. You might be able to sell this like DET copies from a very long game ago. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I just pick up because of these comments. Again, I think this is in line with a lot of activists that are working in these media complex sites. There, again, they don't. The fact that you're trying to sell a product to a customer that you, again, trying to cater to a customer base that you want, it's not the same that catering to a customer base that exists. um, but yeah, I'm assuming that she doesn't represent IGN point of view here. She's talking out of their mouth because she is saying, I think this is from her own channel, Parallax Stella, whatever she calls herself there. But yeah, this is it. Everybody already has been talking this. I'm a little bit late to the party here on pooping on this game. But then again, if the game is not good, what can you do? Um, I like good games. I really do hope that all games that come are always good and that people can enjoy good games. But again, if the games is a shit show, what can you do? It's the same thing that that Amazon. Amazon has a lot of products online. Not everybody is going to buy the same all the products from Amazon. There are going to be good products there, bad products there. Again, it's the customer base, and people tend these people tend to forget that the players, as they call them, the essential players, is the customer base, is the are the people that are spending the money on these games when they think the game is that good to be to spend money on it. They tend to forget that they should. These people should. They are not doing that. They should think about that there is a customer base that enjoys a certain kind of game. They don't enjoy this kind of messaging. They just want to have a little escapism on their hobbies. They don't want to get this kind of messaging, and they want to have good games. So instead of being frustrated that the game is just another shit show of a game, plus they added the messaging all over the place in the game. Again, people don't like that. They never liked, and they never will. And again, I think in the overall scheme of things, this kind of the acronym mafia stuff there, the DEIs, the Jedi, the all the acronyms that they are trying to scream around there, it's mainly for the CEOs to take some profits and some bonuses because they save some percentage of the loans that they made from these Black Rocks and Vanguards kind of equity funds companies that they do the loans there. Again, it's a lot. It's just a very small percentage of people that are taking advantage of the of the financial incentives of this kind of switcheroos in terms of the golden parachutes and all that stuff. Yeah, it's not the people that are making the games, even if they are believers that they want to put the message in. Again, they don't care about you. They just want to get their money at the end, their bonuses at the end of the year. But yeah, this is what I got to say regarding Concord. We'll see in a month's time if they are going to revamp and relaunch this game free to play, or if they're going to shoot themselves in the other foot and launch with some different mechanics, but charging upfront. Yeah, I don't think people will fall for that a second time, but you never know with these guys. In other news, we got supposedly some rumblings regarding Dogma 2 DLC that might be in the works. Supposedly there has been something cooking on the SteamDB files. I think there are some stuff, some files being modified on the SteamDB in terms of the part of the DLC. Again, nothing certain, no official messaging, but I don't know if it is something to do with the fact that Hideaki Tsuno just left the company to pursue his own goals and games. I will assume this is in good hands in terms of following up if there's going to be any kind of DLC up coming out. Again, I will. From what I see, the game is not bad, but lacks a lot of enemy variety. From what I see, it's very repetitive on the overall scheme of things, even though it has some interesting mechanics. And again, the other thing that the people don't chive that well is the lack of optimization in terms of performance on the hardwares. I think there are still some issues there. But yeah, hopefully they will get a DLC out that can improve and expand upon the base game, and hopefully revamp a little bit the sales on this game, because the game it looks good, and the mechanics there are solid. But yeah, it's there seems to be a stagnation in terms of trying to innovate, or trying to increase the variety of enemies and all that jazz. But yeah, other than that, hopefully they will get a good DLC out of the gate there, so people can invest their time there, and hopefully it's a good one. Regarding Black Myth Wukong and the delay on Xbox, now we got some PR statements from Xbox. They say they prefer not to comment on the deals made by our partners with other platform holders, but we can confirm that the delay is not due to Xbox platform limitation that have been raised to us. Again, this comes after there's some rumblings that the game is delayed indefinitely on to launch on Xbox, and I will assume until proven otherwise, that there is some kind of difficulties to optimize the game to a good quality on the Xbox Series X, so the weaker version of the Xbox. Again, I think Xbox at the time shoot themselves in the foot by launching at the same time two consoles, one being weaker than the other. And it's been a shit show for a lot of developers trying to launch their games on Xbox, because when you launch a game on Xbox, you have to launch for both consoles. And given that one is weaker than the other, I think there is a lot of issues trying to optimize the game there. I think in some instances there have been some like video memory leaks, and that trying to get around that, it's a little bit tricky. We got one of the games that launch exclusive like Redfall, and other games. I think even Dogma 2 had a lot of issues to be optimized for Xbox. I think it's on Xbox. But yeah, for the Series X, had some issues there. Starfield had the same problem there. Yeah, I think it's more about that hardware itself being very difficult and challenging to optimize for than any other thing there. But again, Xbox has to save face there. They are not. Uh, what they say is the delay is not due to Xbox platform limitations. Again, they are not saying that's because of the Xbox Series X having kind of optimization issues on that specific. So they try to brush it off with a large brush, trying to make it seem that it's not because of that. But I think it is, uh, because for the developers, they want to launch in all platforms available that can handle the game, so they can sell, because they sold 10 million copies in 3 days, PC and PS5. And on China, PS5s are out of stock because they want to play the game on the console. And yeah, there is no PS5 for sale because they run out of stock. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Hopefully, people can enjoy this game on Xbox sooner rather than later. But we'll have to wait and see more updates on this game here. And then lastly, we got a new announcement: Graft, Hairbraid's next post-cyberpunk survival horror RPG. It's in development for PC. Again, interestingly enough, these are the same guys that work on the how it calls. I got the game here. They work on the Shadowrun trilogy. They worked on the latest game that they launched was the Lamplighters League, when they had to interrupt the support there. But yeah, they launched a trailer here. Seems pretty interesting. Has to do a lot of with crafting. I think in the same veins that the crafting regarding Elden Ring, Godric, I think. But yeah, very interesting. I will leave the Steam page in the description if you want to wishlist the game. But yeah, other than that, I just will go to gaming deals. We got Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy game, 70% off. We got also No Man's Sky, 60% off. We got Red Dead Redemption 2, 60% on the base game, and Ultimate Edition is 65% off. On we got also Planet of Lana 45%. We got The Invincible 34%. We got this new game, Nine Souls. Seems kind of Metroidvania kind of a thing there. It's overwhelmingly positive, so I'll leave it here if you want to test it out. And on GOG, we got the Plague Tale Innocence 80%, Plague Tale Requiem 60%. We got Isolation, the collection. It's got my stamp of approval, is 80% off. We got also Battletech, 76% off. We got Deus Ex Duology, 85 on the first and 85 also on the Mankind Divided. And then lastly, we got the Shadowrun trilogy, the one from Airbrain Schemes. It's 82% off. And yeah, basically this is what I got for you today, guys. Sorry about the rant on the Concord game there, but yeah, it's a shit show. $150 million for in the drain, but it is what it is. Let's see how that goes in the upcoming months there. I will just wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. That extra support is in line for me to get a better storage solution so I can have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and also some space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.